Verstappen apologizes after being blasted online. McLaren mocks rivals after no change in performance, and Lewis has been told to demand better from Ferrari. Let's get into the latest F1 news. Max Verstappen has found himself at the center of attention once again, following a controversial race incident at the Spanish Grand Prix. Red Bull team principal Christian Horner recently revealed that Verstappen has extended an apology to the team. This comes in light of his earlier clash with Mercedes driver George Russell during the closing laps at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. As the race progressed, Verstappen faced an awkward moment when instructed by his race engineer Gianpiero Lambiase to give up fourth place to Russell after he had cut the track to maintain his position. Despite finishing fifth on the road, Verstappen's race ended on a disappointing note as he was demoted to 10th in the official standings due to a 10-second penalty. The reigning four-time world champion also received 3 penalty points from the FIA, putting him dangerously close to a one-race ban. This sequence of events has certainly raised eyebrows, and many are questioning the implications for Verstappen's season ahead. Initially, the Dutch driver showed little remorse after the race. However, he soon shared a reflective post on social media, admitting that his move on Russell was not right and shouldn't have happened. Christian Horner publicly acknowledged Verstappen's apology during the team's post-race debrief, further emphasizing the importance of team unity and communication during such tense moments. Adding to the narrative, Horner defended the team's decision to pit Verstappen for hard tires during the late race safety car, even though it left the driver visibly upset over the radio. He stated that the team made what they believed was the right choice at the time, given the information available. Reflecting on the race, Horner expressed his frustrations, stating that the team had hoped to maximize their performance over the 3 races and exit Barcelona with more points. He acknowledged that the strategy of executing a 3-stop pit plan had been initially advantageous, allowing them to keep pace with competitors like Lando Norris, but the safety car ultimately disrupted their game plan. He remarked that the safety car came out at the worst possible time, leaving them with a choice between sticking with older tires or taking a gamble on a new set. Though it's easy to critique with the benefit of hindsight, Horner insisted that they made the best decisions possible with the knowledge they had at the time. The outcome was disappointing for both Verstappen and Red Bull, with podium finishes within reach but ultimately slipping away. This incident raises questions not just about Verstappen's racing tactics, but also about how teams strategize to navigate through critical moments in a race. As the season continues to unfold, it's clear that Verstappen's actions and the team's decisions will be closely scrutinized. The sport of Formula One is as much about skill as it is about strategic thinking, and this recent drama is just one of many chapters in what promises to be an exciting season ahead. Stay tuned as we follow this story and more developments from the world of Formula One. Max Verstappen recently expressed his regret over his collision with George Russell during the race. He acknowledged that the incident not only affected his performance, but also had implications for others, like Yuki Tsunoda, who could have secured points if not for the safety car's interference. Racing is unpredictable. One moment can shift everything, which is part of what draws fans to the sport. Despite the tough experience, Max is dedicated to refining their car's setup in preparation for the upcoming race in Montreal. Earlier in the week, Verstappen shared his thoughts on the Barcelona race. He felt that their strategy was solid until the safety car disrupted their plans. The tire choices and events that unfolded after the restart fueled his frustration, leading to an error he regretted. He firmly believes in giving his all for the team and understands that emotions can escalate. Nico Rosberg, a former champion, stands by his view that Verstappen should face disciplinary action for his actions during the Spanish Grand Prix, while others are calling for attention on the aggressive moves that characterize Verstappen's racing style. Damon Hill criticized the driver, labeling his approach in Barcelona as excessive. Despite finishing in 10th place, Verstappen's aggressive strategy positioned him as a contender in Spain, showcasing the intensity and tactical depth involved in Formula One racing. The season continues to unfold, and as always, the competition is fierce. Will Verstappen bounce back stronger, or will the pressure to perform weigh heavily as the championship progresses? Stay tuned. Zak Brown, the CEO of McLaren Racing, recently took a humorous jab at his rivals following an impressive 1-2 finish at the Spanish Grand Prix. This cheeky comment came in the wake of the FIA's latest technical directive aimed at addressing rear wing flexing. As McLaren celebrates their success, with Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris stepping onto the podium, the team looks strong in their quest for what seems to be back-to-back Constructors' Championship titles. The performance of both drivers was particularly notable, as they pulled further away from Max Verstappen in the title race during a critical race weekend. In an effort to impact the competitiveness of the sport, the FIA has tightened regulations, and new tests on flexing front wings were implemented at this pivotal Grand Prix. This situation has all eyes on McLaren, especially given their innovative Mini DRS solution that spotlighted them in the earlier debates around flexi wings last season. However, despite the attention and the new regulations, McLaren's dominance remained unchanged. Piastri claimed pole position and secured his 5th win of the season, while Norris transitioned his 2nd-place start into a 1-2 finish for the team. The narratives in Formula One often suggest that while regulations change, the core competitive landscape can remain constant. Brown couldn't help but share his satisfaction on social media after the race, posting about the mega drive from both drivers and thanking the team for their hard work. He cheekily added, "Loving the front wings," signing off with a grinning emoji, a move that certainly rubbed salt into the wounds of their competitors. McLaren now holds a staggering 197-point lead in the Constructors' Championship standings, while their drivers also enjoy a healthy margin ahead of Verstappen in the drivers' classification. Piastri leads the way, with Norris just 10 points behind, while Verstappen finds himself a surprising 39 points off Norris, following a challenging race that resulted in his 10th-place finish, compounded by a time penalty. With the new technical directive in play and McLaren's thrilling performance at the Spanish Grand Prix, it's clear the stakes are higher than ever in Formula One. Fans and rivals alike will be eager to see how the rest of the season unfolds as teams adapt to these evolving regulations. As the competition heats up, one thing is certain: Zak Brown and McLaren are not just riding high on their recent successes, but they are also ready to take on whatever challenges come their way in this dynamic era of Formula One racing. As the 2025 season unfolds, the stakes have never been higher in the fight for the Constructors' Championship. McLaren is currently leading, showcasing an impressive performance from their star drivers. During the Spanish Grand Prix, the dynamic between Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris stole the spotlight. Team principal Andrea Stella noted how the two drivers raced in parallel, pushing each other throughout the race. In a nail-biting finish, Piastri clinched victory, finishing 2.5 seconds ahead of Norris. Stella commented on how following another car impacts tire performance. He explained, "Running behind consumes more energy as aerodynamics reduce, resulting in an extra half-second lost on the tires. This dynamic played a crucial role in the race's outcome." One noteworthy element is Piastri's evolution as a driver. Last season, he faced challenges in this very race, but this year, he demonstrated remarkable growth. Stella praised his performance, highlighting how far he's come in just 12 months. This newfound skill contributes to McLaren's overall dominance. However, all eyes are on Max Verstappen as well. A potential race ban looms after his clash with George Russell, raising eyebrows and questions. McLaren's rivals have been scrutinizing the team's MCL39, but Zak Brown has fired back, insisting they aren't hiding anything. He emphasized that honesty with the FIA is paramount. As the competition heats up, both Piastri and Norris are determined to balance their ambitions while maintaining respect for one another in their title pursuits. In the thrilling world of Formula One, every race counts, and the drama is far from over. Stay tuned for the next exhilarating chapter in this racing saga. Nico Rosberg has once again defended his controversial statement regarding Max Verstappen's race at the Spanish Grand Prix. The former world champion insists that Verstappen should have faced disqualification, a call he made live during the Sky F1 commentary after an intense collision with George Russell. Following the race, tensions were palpable, particularly during an interview with Sky F1's Rachel Brooks. Verstappen, visibly frustrated, responded dismissively when Brooks pressed him on whether the clash with Russell was intentional. "Does it matter?" he shot back, apparently eager to focus on the entire race rather than a single moment. As Brooks attempted to point out the impact of such incidents on fans and young viewers, Verstappen seemed unconvinced, ultimately indicating he'd rather wrap up the conversation. The clash between Verstappen and Russell elevated the stakes during the race as the pair faced off at turn 1. Verstappen was instructed by his race engineer to concede 4th place to Russell, following a controversial battle where he had briefly left the track. As the race progressed, this tension boiled over when the duo collided at turn 5. Although both drivers managed to avoid significant damage, Verstappen was slapped with a 10-second time penalty, which dropped him to 10th place and brought his penalty points to 11, just 1 point shy of a potential race ban. In a subsequent statement, Verstappen accepted responsibility for the incident, which he labeled as "not right." However, during his exchange with Brooks, he preferred to shift focus away from the collision, underscoring a desire to concentrate on the bigger picture of the race instead of one misstep. Rosberg's reaction to Verstappen's interview was telling. He elaborated on the tension that had been building up during the race and how pivotal moments can impact a driver's mindset. Verstappen's strategy, including a 3-stop approach, was clearly aimed at outmaneuvering rivals like McLaren's Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris. Yet, when a late safety car shuffled the pack and he found himself on older hard tires compared to competitors on fresh softs, the pressure mounted. The subsequent overtaking maneuvers by drivers like Charles Leclerc and the added controversy surrounding Verstappen's order to yield to Russell crystallized a moment of frustration that reflected not just on their battle, but also on Verstappen's behavior in the latter stages of his interview. As Rosberg continues to stand by his disqualification call, it remains to be seen how these events will influence Verstappen's approach to racing and his interactions with the media moving forward. The audience is left contemplating the implications of such clashes on a driver's reputation, both on and off the track. In summary, the fallout from the Spanish Grand Prix continues to resonate, highlighting the intricate dynamics of racing, media interactions, and the pressures faced by elite drivers like Verstappen. With Rosberg's strong stance and Verstappen's reactions, there's a growing narrative that fans will likely follow closely as the season progresses. In the aftermath of the Spanish Grand Prix, the tension continued to rise as Nico Rosberg addressed the incident between Max Verstappen and George Russell. Rosberg acknowledged that while Verstappen didn't lie about his actions, he cleverly dodged giving a clear answer. Rosberg praised Rachel, who conducted the interview, for handling the challenging situation adeptly. The crux of the matter revolved around Verstappen's controversial maneuver on Russell. Rosberg emphasized that Verstappen felt wronged, even within his team, claiming Russell's car was out of control. Meanwhile, his engineer insisted he relinquish the position, pushing Verstappen's frustration to its limits. This led to a deliberate retaliation, which Rosberg condemned as unacceptable behavior in the sport. As discussions unfolded, the focus shifted to significant implications from the race. Rosberg maintained his earlier viewpoint that Verstappen deserved a black flag for his actions, suggesting that waiting to crash into a competitor crossed the line of acceptable conduct in Formula One. This incident notably impacted the championship standings, with Oscar Piastri now taking a commanding lead, while Verstappen found himself increasingly vulnerable. Furthermore, Damon Hill weighed in, labeling Verstappen's actions as over the top, a sentiment echoed by other drivers facing scrutiny in the wake of this clash. Verstappen's controversial moment not only sparked debates, but also raised concerns about potential disciplinary actions, especially with a looming race ban for accumulating penalty points. In closing, these unfolding events have kept fans and analysts on the edge of their seats, eagerly anticipating how these narratives will shape the remainder of the season. Lewis Hamilton is no stranger to navigating challenges, but his recent move to Ferrari has certainly come with its share of complexities. After a long-standing partnership with Mercedes, swapping teams means adapting to new dynamics, especially when it comes to working with a different race engineer. Following his switch, the seasoned racer has found himself clashing with Riccardo Adami, his new race engineer. This tension reached a boiling point during the Miami Grand Prix. Hamilton expressed frustration over the team's slow response to issuing critical orders, particularly regarding teammate Charles Leclerc. His sharp words echoed through the radio. "Ah, have a tea break while you're at it. Come on. This is not good teamwork. That's all I'm gonna say." These public outbursts have made headlines, drawing attention to the rocky start of their collaboration. Just 2 races later in Monaco, the situation didn't improve. Hamilton was left feeling bewildered after receiving unclear radio messages. Upon returning to the pits, he questioned Adami, "Are you upset with me or something?" The silence that followed spoke volumes, exacerbating the frustrations of the moment. Yet, amid all this noise, there are contrasting narratives. Hamilton has publicly downplayed claims of discord between him and Adami. In a recent media interaction, he dismissed the speculation as mostly BS. He emphasized their good working relationship, showcasing Adami as a great guy who puts in tremendous effort alongside him. "Do we have disagreements? Like everyone does in relationships, but we work through them. We're both in it together," he stated, reflecting a commitment to overcoming challenges together. As Hamilton grapples with this adjustment, the question remains, is it time for him to get a bit angry and demand a change? Montoya's advice rings loudly, suggesting that assertiveness may be a necessary trait to navigate his new environment. In the world of Formula One, teamwork is key, and having the right race engineer is crucial for success. How Hamilton chooses to address this ongoing situation could define his season, and fans will be watching closely to see how these tensions evolve. Will Hamilton emerge stronger from this challenge, or will he push for changes within the team? Only time will reveal the next chapter of this high-octane narrative. Recently, tensions have surfaced in the Mercedes camp, with Hamilton encountering several frustrating moments during the Spanish GP. He faced a reported downshift issue, but chose to stay on track rather than box, asserting he could manage a practice start. "It's working," he insisted to his race engineer, Adami, who disagreed, preferring to bring him in. This refusal highlights Hamilton's determination, but also raises questions about their communication. Former F1 driver Juan Pablo Montoya believes it might be time for Hamilton to request a new race engineer. He pointed out that Hamilton's current engineer's reluctance to communicate effectively could be detrimental. At some point, Lewis is going to have to get angry and ask for a change, Montoya remarked. He emphasized that a shift in engineers could create a more accountable environment, pushing everyone to elevate their game. However, Hamilton has shown understanding towards Adami, explaining post-race that communication issues affected them during the race. "We spoke afterwards," he noted, downplaying the incident. Yet, tensions remain, as Hamilton described the Spanish GP as the worst race I've experienced, finishing in 6th. As discussions about race engineers and communication strategies unfold, it's clear that Hamilton's performance hinges not just on his driving, but on the team dynamics around him. The collaboration between Hamilton and his engineers will be pivotal in shaping his success for the rest of the season. Fan support continues to pour in as they wonder how Hamilton will navigate these challenges ahead.